Good evening, everybody. We're about to start another delicious Amud. You have no idea. I got it to halacha, all about dog youth behavior, and then all kinds of interesting things of Tuma Batara, but the interesting type. So you have to stay with us and watch and listen. The Eloi Nishmas, my father, Menachem ben Akiva, and for that tzlacha of all the soldiers, all kinds of soldiers of all types. Atzlacha of everyone who needs a shidduch. Roma Baba Mobshim Lakish. We're in Kiddushin Samech Gimel Amud Aleph. Roma Rabbi Abba Omar Mobshim Lakish. Yeah, excuse me. No, Omar Rav Kahana. Sorry, Omar Mobshim Lakish. Second to last line. The Amri La Sam say Omar Rav Asi Omar Shlakish. The Amri La Omar Rabbi Abba Omar Mobshim Lakish. Yeah, in other words, it's clearly Rish Lakish who said it. Yeah, quoted by Rav Kahana or Rav Asi or Rabbi Abba. What did you say? Whoever breeds, whoever keeps a bad dog in his house, yeah, then moneh chesed mitoch beisoy. A bad dog is a dog that, as we're going to see later, either the dog that really bites, it's a biting dog, or it can also be a dog, as we'll see later on, that looks scary and people are scared of that dog, yeah, and they run away from the dog. That is a problem. It could be a problem, isa de oraisa. If the dog is mamish biting, then it's under the category of loitosim domim bebeitecha. Just like you're not allowed, it's a safety hazard. You're not allowed to have, for example, a bad, an unstable ladder. So you can't have a dog that's biting, yeah, because it's a sakono. But even a dog that may look scary and barks, it's a barking dog. So that too is a problem, as we'll see later on. But what the Gemara says right now, yeah, okay, fine, okay. What's that? Okay. Now the issue here is moneh chesed mitoich beisoy. What does that mean? Basically, there is no chesed. You are avoiding chesed from your house. Says Rashi, because poor people don't come to his house because they know whenever they come near his, these houses drives you crazy. You get near the house and like this unbelievably crazy barking noise. Yeah, these things exist all over the world. So that drives away the mashalochim, which some people think is a very nice shtick. But the Gemara doesn't think it's so nice. Is moneh chesed shenemar. What's the source for that? It says lamas mere'ehu chesed. What does it mean lamas? Lamas mere'ehu chesed. We're going to explain. Sheken bilshon yevonis koren lekelev lamas. In Old Greek, apparently, the word for dog is lamas, and it's a remez in the Novi, in the Ksuvim in Iyov. Lamas mere'ehu chesed. Explains Rashi. The letter mem, yeah, the mem, yeah, as I don't remember what it's called. It's mem means from. Mere'ehu chesed. Whenever you say from, you mean you're taking from. I'm taking this from you. Lamas, the dog is taking something from the poor man, the chesed. He's taking from you the chesed. Lamas, from your re'ah, you're taking something, you're taking the chesed from the oni. Ultimately, you're not giving yourself the chance to do chesed. Now, Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Omar, a person who has a guarding dog, he's removing from himself yiras shamayim, because the rest of the pasuk says, the continuation, it says, shenemar v'yiras shaka yazov. He's leaving behind the yiras elokim. So the Maharsha says in Bava Kama, where this kind of Gemaras appear at least twice in Bava Kama, in Memvav and in Pei Gimel. These Gemaras are around there. I think Memvav. In Pei Gimel, it says there, the Maharsha says, when you trust your dog, what's Shin Daled Yud? The mezuzah. You have a mezuzah. Instead of trusting the mezuzah, you have a guard dog. Yeah, that's the idea. So I'll stand on the soapbox for a minute. And I'm not talking about dogs in this neighborhood, actually, for a change. I'm talking about, I was once in a community in my fundraising years. I was in a community where a lot of people had real bad dogs. Yeah, because the time for security was very, very hard and it was very unpleasant. Like you get into near a person's house, the mamish, like it's not a pleasant experience. I'm not judging them on the personal level. They have their issues, but the Gemara seems to identify with this. Story time. So far, how do you know we're talking about scary dogs? We only talk about dogs that really bite. Well, no. There was once a woman, real life story. There was a woman, the Ayla Lahu Beta. She came into a house. She was trying to get into the house. Lemeifa. She wanted to bake in the house. Rashi explains, we're talking over there about a person who had to rent an oven service. Yeah, like some people rent out their swimming pools to swim in. So he had rent an oven. He has the most modern new oven, Pshia from France, new thing. and whoever wants can pay per hour cost or per cake. So she went to that sort of public slash private place to bake her bread. Novach bakalba. So the dog, the guard dog, the bad dog, meaning was barking very strongly. He barked. It akar Vlada. Apparently she was pregnant and she miscarried inside. The Vlad disconnected, the embryo, whatever it is, the fetus, boom, disconnected, and she miscarried unwillingly. Omar lo Mari de Beisa. He didn't know that. The Balabais, the owner of the rental oven, he told her, "Lo tidcheli, don't worry, don't be scared, don't be scared. He doesn't do anything." Yeah, the shkili nive, the shkili tufrei. I already removed these nivim. Nivim, I think, are called cannon teeth, the ones in the side. The predators have them, like lions and dogs, cannon teeth, the side ones, the scary ones. I removed them from him. I got the vet to remove them. The shkilin tufrei, also his tufrei, his claws. His claws, I removed them, no problem. So it's fine. Omrale, she told him, Shkolativusich, take your favor. She spoke to him sarcastically, and she said, take away your favor. What did he tell her? I took away. I removed this, I removed that. So she answered back, you can remove that big favor, mister. Vishadi achizli. You can take your big favor of, grooming your dog and making it family friendly, and you can throw it on the chizli. You can throw it on the reeds. Throw it on the reeds. Vanad Vlad. Oh, my baby is gone already. My baby is gone. My baby is already moved away. I can feel inside that I miscarried. Basically, what's the idea? The idea is that even if the dog barks and looks scary and people run away from it, it's a big problem. It's a problem in Issa. It's an Issa. That's what Rabbanon said. There's a Deoraisa Rabbanon. If the dog is really harmful, it's an Issa Deoraisa. A dog that can really bite people, it's an Issa Deoraisa. It can bite a guest. These things happen. It's an Issa Deoraisa. And if the dog looks scary and people may be scared to death or to miscarry or psychological traumas children can have, then it's also usher, at least the Rabbanon. Yeah, that's actually once learned the sugya pretty well. And that's a maskana. So before you buy a dog, which stam is not a good idea in Ledaiti, but if you do, it definitely shouldn't be a big scary one. Not even looking scary, and not the kind of dog that the children are scared of. Ask your local Orthodox. Omar Avuna, my dichtiv, more muster ideas. Omar Avuna, my dichtiv, what does it mean when it says, Smach bochu be yaldutecha? The pasuk says, yeah, be happy, young man, in your youth. V'yativ chalibcha b'mei bechurasecha. Your heart shall be, do yativ chalibcha. In other words, do the right thing in your mind. Whatever is nice and good in your heart, do it when you're young. V'holach b'darkei libecha. Yeah, follow the ways of your heart. U'b'mare einecha. Follow your eyes. Yeah, whatever that means. V'da. You should know that a Kadosh Baruch Hu will judge you for all that. That's a pasuk in Koheles. Hashem will judge you for that. Okay, what does it mean? Says the Gemara, the first opinion. Ad kan divrei tzar hara, mikan melech divrei tzar toiv. The first part of the pasuk is a quote verbatim of the Yetzer Hara. He's telling the young man, do what your heart feels. Yeah, that's what they say. I think that's the right thing to do. What do you mean you think? It's a hard things for you. And I will look whatever I want. Yeah, no shmir sanayim, online, offline. Yeah, I'm okay, no problem. I'll look whatever I want. I will do whatever I want. All is good. Oh, very good. Comes the Yetzer Tov and tells you, very nice, you'll have to pay for it. Remember, at the end of the day, judgment day will come. Yeah, you'll have to break the car, and the Kadosh Baruch Hu will judge you for everything you do. That's the first opinion. Now, Rish Lakish, and this is Rav Huna. Now, Rish Lakish says, Ad kan l'divrei Torah, mikan va'elech l'maisim toivim. Rish Lakish says something completely different. Really, right from the start, the pasuk is saying positive things. He's telling you, be happy with your heart and your eyes. Says Rashi, smach betalmudcha, lemoid besimcha mitoiv leiv. You should learn besimcha, learn whatever you want with good heart. Follow your heart in the sugya. In other words, learn the sugya that you want. The Gemara says in Avodah Zarah, yeah. What should the person learn? Libay chofetz, ilmadod mash libay chofetz. Gemara in Avodah Zarah, daf yutes. The person should learn, or yudain, I think yutes. The person should learn whatever he wants that makes him feel gishmak and good, and see in the Torah, it's all good. So what's the judgment business? Why is it second? Hashem will judge you for that? Maisim toivim, says Rish Lakish, yes. If you learn so well, now Hashem will expect more of you to be mekayim and fulfill what you learn. That's pshat. Yeah, Hashem will tell you now. Now you know so much more. Now you've learned in yeshiva with gishmak, with good, and you know the sugya. Now, if you learn such gishmak way, the sugya of I don't know, of kilaim, of Shabbos, of Nida, of Yom Kippur, you have to keep it very well. Yeah, you can't, live in this lie of learning one thing without fulfilling it. That's according to Shlakish, it's all positive. Now we're going to talk about the biris and the kvolim. Let's just see what the Mishnah says. You don't have to flip back. The Mishnah said something interesting about the women's clothes, and that is biris tehoiro. The biris, whatever that is tohor, means it does not accept tuma. It's not sensitive to tuma, and also you're allowed to wear it on Shabbos. And kvolim are sensitive, are tome. Kvolim are susceptible for tuma, and you're not allowed to wear them on Shabbos. Okay, that is what we say. The question is, what's biris? What's kvolim? Why this? Why that? All Chinese for us. Omar, all Greek to me. Omar Vida, biris to etzada. At the beginning of Vida says biris is an etzada. Etzada is a bracelet. It's a bracelet. Okay, and it's a bracelet. I'm not going to ask, but the Gemara's going to ask. Sorry, the Gemara's asked my question. Mesa Rav Yosef, how can he say bracelet is biris? Why? Biris tehoiro v'yotzim ba b'Shabbos. He said the biris is tehoiro, is not susceptible for tuma, and you're allowed to wear it on Shabbos. Dilo etzada tmei. Etzada not only is a tachshit, and we know a general rule that tachshitim are tomeh. Etzada is mentioned in the Torah. Etzada is one of the items of the jewelry items that they took from the Benois Midian and they brought to the Shevi, and he told them that they are mekabel tuma. You tell me Etzada is not mekabel tuma? Doesn't make sense. Answers the Gemara, no. You misunderstood Rav Yehuda. Hachika Omar. That's what Rav Yehuda was saying. Biris tachas etzadoi medes. A biris is instead of an etzada. What does that mean? Explains Rashi, as I told you yesterday. The biris basically is something that a woman wears on her leg to keep her socks together. She wears these pants or socks that are like today, like let's say knee height, more or less. And now she wants that loop, that bracelet to be on her leg to keep the sock in place. So just like the tzada, by the way, I saw in the Dirshu booklet, I think they brought down B'Shem and Achron that they used to wear the tzada here on top of their arm, and so too the tzada of the leg, which is the biris, is worn on the top part to hold the pant, whatever, the sock in its place. Okay, so Mimele, now we know what? Now we know what we already know. Why isn't it mekabel tuma? Because it's kli lekli. That's why, right? In other words, it's not serving a human being directly, it's serving a human being indirectly. You have the sock. The only reason why you have that bracelet loop kind of thing over there, the hoopy thing there, is why? To keep the sock in place. That's already so indirect. Kli lekli is not mekabel tuma. Okay, so that much we already know. Let's continue. Now, from here till the end, let's see the following. Yosef, Rabin, Verav Huna. Rabin and Rav Huna were sitting and learning, discussing Torah. Kamei de Rav Yirmiyah. They were sitting in front of Rav Yirmiyah. The Yosef Rav Yirmiyah b'kamenamnim. Rav Yirmiyah was sitting there and he was like dozing off. He wasn't completely asleep. He was like, sleepy, dozing off like that. The Yosef Rabin v'ka'omar. Now Rabin sat down and started explaining the Mishnah. What's the difference between biris and kvolim? And he said biris be'achas, kvolim be'shtayim. The biris, it's the same thing exactly. When you wear one of them alone, let's say the woman goes out to the street only with one biris, one bracelet like that to keep her sock in the place, it's called biris. When she wears both of them, they're called kvolim. The plural has a different name than the singular. Now, Tosfos asks the question, and so do other Rishonim. Let's hold right there. Hold it right there. How could that make sense? Because we say that biris is what? Not mekabel tuma, and the kvolim are mekabel tuma. But if it's the same thing, here wearing one and here wearing two, how could that make a difference? Answers Tosfos very nicely. Answers Tosfos beautiful. He says when you wear one of them, that's, I don't want to say the word stupid, but it is. Or what's your story, lady? To wear one is wearing one shoe, like wearing one earring. You don't do that, yeah? It's crazy to do one thing, right? And therefore, it's not called a kli. It's so bad, it's so abnormal that that kind of usage doesn't give it the name of a kli. And that also explains why she's allowed to wear it on Shabbos. Because she's ashamed to say, here's my one biris. You're nuts. It could be a nice biris made in Paris, very fashionable. You don't wear one. Here's my nice shoe. I have one shoe of a Gucci, a fancy shoe. It's nuts. Mashenkin kvolim b'shtayim. When she wears the kvolim the proper way, two together, then they're called a kli, because now they're used as a kli. And also, she would show them to her friends. Look, I have the pair of beautiful golden kvolim. However, Ravuna did not accept that. And he says, no. Elu ve'elu b'shtayim, umatilin shalsheles beineim v'nasu kvolim. And that, with that, we're going to stay till the end. Ravuna said that cannot be. Really, both biris and kvolim are a pair. Elamai. A biris means two of them, one on the right thigh or leg, one on the other one, and the left one. And shalsheles means, and the kvolim means, as you saw in the picture of the yoni picture, there is shalsheles when there's like a chain between the two of them, then it's called kvolim. They're all set together, the two, cuffs, it looks like, with the shalsheles in between, the chain, that set together is called shalsheles. Okay. Now, frek the Gemara, why are you gaining by that? The shalsheles sheba mashve leimana? Why is that so? What are you helping me? Again, we're trying to figure out here, maybe I should have stressed it more. Why is it that biris is not mekabel tuma and the kvolim, the whole thing together, are mekabel tuma? Why? Just because you added one, it's one shalshelis, one silly piece of chain, that makes a difference? Because if you're telling me it's not cloth, it's a cloth for the cloth, it's a kli for a kli. So what if you added the shalshelis? Well, how does it help you? The chitema, and if you want to tell me, we're, starting a rejection here. The chitema, if you want to tell me, Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani, and maybe you'll follow the opinion, of Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani, which was already twice. No, we saw it once. Damar Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Minayin lemashmiya koil beklei matochois shu tome. Remember that? Daf Nun Ches, we had it. How do you know that if something is there only to be an instrument to create noise, voice, sound, to create a sound, and it's made out of mateches, made out of metal, how do you know that it's tome? Because one could argue, it's not really a kli, yeah? What do you do with it? You hear a noise. You're not eating with it, you're not cutting with it. Who said it's a kli for tuma? Shenemar, there's a source. It says, Kol dovar asher yova ba'esh, afilu dibur b'mashma. Yeah, since it says in the Torah, Kol dovar, if I would want to quickly move into English, I would say anything. That's not true. Kol dovar means anything. Kol davar, what's davar? Medaber. Dibur is sound. Anything / any noise-making thing, davar, is really should go into the fire. Although Tessus points out over there that talks about Hag'ala, and here we're talking about Tachshitim, but the two are interchangeable. So it's Mekabel Tuma. So now, what are you going to tell me? Look, what a brilliant idea. The shalsheles makes noise. When the girl walks down the street, with the shalsheles between her two braces, then what happens? It creates a noise. No, so maybe that's why it's tome, making a noise. Says the Gemara, no, that's not enough of a reason. Bishul Mahosam, over there, what did we speak about? Remember in Daf Nun Ches, who spoke about a bell that's made for an animal. But why do you want to have it on the animal? So you should know where the cow is. Yeah, your cow is running there, and you hear the bell, the cow's over there, the cow's over there. Bishul Mahosam, over there, Kabaula Lekala, Vekaovid Maisa. Over there, in the story of the regular bell, you want it for noise, it's producing sound, voice, and it's also doing Maisa. It's helping you directly as a person. I know where my animal is. Could be even I want to hear nice music. I don't know. But it's serving me directly. Hacha, over here, it's not the same. My Maisa Ka'avid. There's no Maisa directly for the person. In other words, that girl walks down the street, and the kvalim and the whole business is helping her clothes, not her directly. It's producing noise when she walks. That's not the purpose. It happens to be producing noise. It's not the main thing. Yeah, it's not serving her that purpose for her. She's not enjoying the noise. And even if she does enjoy the noise, as she walks around, she feels it's very cool. So what? Well, Lamai said it's not made for that. It's not made for the noise. And therefore, it's not the same as a bell that's meant for voice, for sound. And therefore, the Gemara says, yes. Now comes the final answer, which I told you yesterday. Achanami Kovid Maise. Yes. these shalshelis, that shalshelis, that chain does do something directly for the woman's body. There was one family in Yerushalayim, Shayub Siosei and Gasos. The girls, maybe also the boys actually, they always used to stride, used to walk with big long strides. Their besulim they would walk so briskly, so fast, so wide, so the besulim would fall apart, would fall down. Also len kvolim. So to remedy that, they made that chain. The kvolim are the two braces on the legs. The tilush shalshelis beineyen. They created, they attached a shalshelis, a chain in between. So their walk, their stride, their steps should be much more gentle and small. Very good. And then it did the trick. And these girls, they didn't have the besulim noshos. That's called direct help for the person's body. As we saw time and again, tachshitim are not only something you wear or begodim because you want to look nice or elegant or accepted in society or warm or cold. No, the idea of begodim sometimes is for your health, such as kameh. So too, if the girl wears that in order to do what? To walk slowly in order to save her besulim. So she gets married, she'll have the besulim. Very good. Such a case, Ivaldig, then it's considered helping her directly. Let's just see the very end and then I'll summarize. You remember Rabbi Yirmiyah? Hey, he's back to the story. He's back in the loop, back in the story. Itabu Rabbi Yirmiyah. Rabbi Yirmiyah woke up at that moment. He was half hearing what they were saying. And Omar Lu, Yeshar, V'chen Amar B'Yochanan. Yeshar is like Yeshar Koyach. Yeshar, straight. What you people are saying is do good, it's true. And this is also Rabbi Yochanan, the main authority of Eretz Israel. He also said the same. He said what? Let's summarize again. So again, when you have the biris is not worn alone. You have one biris on the right leg, the other biris, the left one on the left leg. What is it? A, it's not mekabel tuma. Why? Because it's not serving you, it's serving your sock. So then you are tsanua, but that's indirect. Indirect enough to be not mekabel tuma. Why aren't we concerned you'll show it to your friend? Why are you allowed to walk with it on Shabbos? Because I made a mistake yesterday. I said because it's under a skirt, it's not mashma. That was a mistake. No. Pashut. If she removes that loop, the sock is going to fall. And she doesn't want that. She doesn't walk around without socks. Right? So therefore, Mimela, she keeps it there. She keeps it there. What about the shalsheles? What about the thing in between? Well, mitzad kabbalas tuma, mekabel tuma. It's serving the girl directly to keep her strides short and therefore maintain her halachic/physical state. That's her directly. What about showing it to a friend? Why not? She can remove it. When she removes just the chain from the two braces, the socks are not falling. The socks are still held by the biris. The thing between the biris, she'll show it to her friend. Gold, silver, wow, you don't know, you have no idea. Designer shalsheles. And she'll show it to her friend, and she'll walk daladamis b'shusarabi, which is always a concern in this period, time and again. And therefore, that she's not allowed to wear on the Sabbath day, according to Jewish tradition. That's Adkan very clear. Weiter. We're going to talk now about the tzitz of the Kohen Gadol. Yes, I'm listening to questions. Rabbeinu HaChoshu. Weiter. Okay, more from Rav Dimi Amar B'Yochanan. He also Rav Dimi Amar B'Yochanan. When Rav Dimi came from Eretz Yisrael to Bovel, he used to go back and forth. He quoted Rabbi Yochanan, and he said, "Minayin le'orig kol shehu shu tomeh." How do you know that orig? Orig is a piece of cloth, fabric. How do you know that a fabric is tomeh, even when it's kol shehu? Now, kol shehu means, I'm going to discuss more later, doesn't mean tiny, 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 tiny. Kol shehu means, Tosfos says, I'll already tell you now, I'll do the shortcuts for you. Basically, a small orig is metam, even if it's very small. Now, it clearly does mean something that's tiny, almost invisible. It means to say, Tosfos points out, an orig has to be a base kibul, because orig is one of those items. Orig is like sack and like wood. One of those items that only mekabel tuma if they can at least be a receptacle. We all know from Daf Zayin and many other places, shute kle'etz are not mekabel tuma, right? Wooden surface not mekabel tuma, only if it can contain something. So now this item says Tosfos, yeah, if you have a small piece of cloth, by the way, guys, this is Nogea for Ilchas Nida. I'll tell you at the end. This is Nogea today. This is one tomb of V'tar, so I'll tell you afterwards. Basically, if you have a piece of cloth that if you fold it, you can contain inside a diamond, very small, but worth $1 million. Yeah. So or a machat, a needle, even a cheap one, that is the size of the orig that's already mekabel tuma. Another question of Tosfos, actually, the first question, Tosfos says, I thought this gimel al gimel. We had this whole very difficult Amud, yeah, in Perek Sheni. Says Tosfos something very, very choshuv, and that's Nogea for Hilchas Nida. When you say gimel gimel, it's boys, not tfachim, that if it's a remains, if it's a leftover from a big piece of cloth. But if you lechatchila wove and sewed a tiny kind of cloth, and that's your purpose, that's what you want to stay with, that's mekabel tuma, even if it's very small. And that's nafkamina for clothes that women wear, and you know that the ktamim, the ksamim are only mekabel tuma when it's something that's mekabel tuma. The only mitam of the woman if it's mekabel tuma. That's Chazal. So let's say she wears something which is less than gimel or gimel. She wears like very small baggage on her body, very small item, lingerie. But if it's made to be that way, which it is, then it's mekabel tuma if it's less than shalosh. That's enough kamina. Weiter. How do we know that? Mitzitz. That we learn from the tzitz of the Kohen Gadol. Okay, I don't know how small the tzitz was. I'm not sure what that's a source, but we say a tzitz is the source to tell me that the fabric that's even very small is mekabel tuma. But before going to the size, the obvious question is, Omar la'Abaye, the tzitz origu? Excuse me, the tzitz was an orig. He had a havamina. The havamina was that it's a cloth with gold on top of it. That's what they thought. It says in the Torah gold, and they knew it. Maybe it's cloth with gold. It says no, it's not. Vatanya. It says in the Brisa, tzitz. How did the tzitz of the Kohen Gadol look like? Kemin tas shel zohov. It was basically like a little plate. It's a plate. It was like not a breastplate, face plate, yeah. Of what? Of gold. The rochav shtei etzbois. It was very small. Shtei etzbois means less than 3 etzbois. That's a chiddush. It was the size of 2 etzbois. Umukaf noizen loizen from ear to ear. The cost of olive. What was written on that? What was written on the tzitz? Kodesh LaHashem. But the way Kodesh LaHashem was written was interesting. The base shitin Yud Hey, base shitin, there were 2 lines. Kodesh LaHashem was written in 2 different lines, 2 different scores. Yud Hey Lemala, the Kodesh La Lemata, which means it was, listen, look at me, Kodesh La over here and Hashem over here. Why not Kodesh LaHashem in one straight line? Because they didn't want anything to be before the word LaHashem. Hashem. Yeah, Hashem should be the first thing. So they did Kodesh La, and the top line was Hashem. Yeah, okay. By the way, it's a big machlokes Rishonim Amud. It's written, I think 4 opinions in the Rishonim. I didn't go into it this time. Wow, I visited Rome. There's a whole story that he had as a reward for something. I don't remember the story exactly. I have to admit, I saw it once. But one time he was allowed to go to Rome and see what today is the Vatican. What they have, you know, in the subterranean part there, in their machsanim, they have all kinds of treasures from Beis Hamikdash. He had the reshus to go down there to Rome, and he saw the tzitz, the cost of Kodesh Lashem, b'shita achas. And Kodesh Lashem is written in one line, not like you're saying Kodesh Lo and Hashem. Kodesh Lashem all one line, and it's not considered disrespectful to say Kodesh LaHashem, because it's Kodesh LaHashem, not written something else LaHashem. Anyway, Kisalik Rav Dimi Lenado, but so now basically we're stuck. How do you, Rav Dimi, tell me that the source of the fact that a beged kolshu is from the tzitz? Beged is beged, and tzitz is a tachshit. It's made out of gold. Gold items are not called orig. Orig, by the way, means what? Woven. I keep saying fabric because I want to talk nice English. But the Maisa orig literally means the woven one. Le'erog is not to laharog. Le'erog is to weave. Yeah. So now sholach lu. So kisalik Rav Dimi Lenardo. When Rav Dimi came to Nardo second time, I guess he regretted what he said. Sholach lu. He sent him a letter. I regret. I'm sorry. What I told you is a mistake. It's not true to compare tzitz to a fabric, to an orig. Ram, however, kach omum shum Rabbi Yochanan. That's what they said on the F of Rabbi Yochanan. Minayin letachshit kol shehu tome. How do you know that the minimum size tachshit is tome? Mitzitz. I didn't go into it so much, but tzitz does have to its voice. So tachshit less than to its voice, I don't know what's going to be there. Yeah, but it's still a very small size. So small tachshit is betame, and we know that mitzitz. Minayin leori kol shu shutame me'oi beged. Okay. So now, how do you know that an ori kol shu is metame? Because it says in the Torah regarding shrotzim, it says oi beged. The word oi or in English always comes to add something. Tumas shrotzim it says o beged or. O is always more inclusive to tell me not the beged of the sholosh or sholosh etzbois. Even smaller than that, I'm bringing Tosis back to the picture. Even if you wove something very, very cute and little, you want a very little tiny handkerchief, they can hold your little diamond. A tiny, tiny thing just to hold my diamond. The Kabel Tuma from the word oi beged. Tonu abonon, more on the same. Now we have a brisa to teach me the following. I'm still in trouble here with the tzitz with the shtei etzbois. I do apologize that I didn't look well enough into that, but I don't know why you would say kolshu while the tzitz was shtei etzbois. Shtei etzbois is a size. What about one etzba? I don't know. Just interesting idea to think of. Maybe you can come up with an answer. I'll be happy. Tonu abonon. Yeah. Nachon? She'ela. Tonu abonon. A statement from the brisa. Orig kolshu tome. Okay, we know that, right? The minimum size orig just to hold a small thing is mekabel tuma. Tachshit kolshu tome. Nice, right? Okay. Then we know from the tzitz, a tiny tachshit is tome. Orig v'tachshit kolshu tome. What's orig v'tachshit? Half. You have half an orig and half a tachshit. So here Tosis also says you see that it's not anything. You see that mashu is not tiny. It has to be a little bit big. Otherwise, there are no halves. If you say half this, half that, means it has a little bit of substance, a little bit of size. So something which is, something is, imagine yourself some kind of, plate, golden plate, and in the corner, all around it, you have fabric or the other way around. So also kol shehu, that's going to be a third source that half orig, half tachshit, they're very small, they're also tome. Now we're adding another item. Musaf saka lebeged shetomi mishum orig. I'll spoon feed you a little bit. It's really something which you'll see tomorrow when you learn on your own, but I already tell you now what it is. Sak, now sak is opposed to beged, is very, what sak means sack. Well, sack is also orig. Sak means something made out of the wool of the goats. And this is something I want to tell you, which you see time and again. We saw it in the Gemara, and my father told me the same from his, that was his profession, that the only wool you can wear is wool, because you cannot wear wool from Izim. The wool of the Izim of the goats is too rough, it's too tough, it's a sack. If you want to wear sack clothes, you're Ovel on Beis Hamikdash, you did an Avera, you want to wear sack clothes, b'vakasha, but it's too harsh for the body. It doesn't move right, it's not flexible enough. So it's not really called a beged. And that's why the Torah also always treats it differently. There's beged and there's sak. That's what it means. Here what the Gemara is saying, that sak has a difference from beged that's mitame because of orig. And the Gemara later on asks, what do you mean? They're all orig. The Gemara says, no, the sak, because it's so coarse, sometimes you use it even when it's not woven. The beged of what's the name of the regular wool from sheep, when is it mitame? When you weave it. You weave, crisscross. Then it's metame. The one of the izim is also metame, even when it's just strands of the semer of the izim are metame. Why? Because the Gemara says a poor person, this is the tachshit of his daughter, misken. It doesn't have silver, doesn't have gold. He takes one of those thick strands, fibers of the izim, he colors it nicely, puts it as a tachshit for his daughter. That's mekabel tuma. That's later. Now Rava is explaining the brisa which we just saw. It's going to be very easy now because we really know it all almost. Orig koshu tome. How do you know the minimum size orig, meaning a fabric made out of normal wool of sheep and that? How do you know it's tome? Me'oi beged. The word o is including that. Tachshit koshu tome. How do you know the smallest tachshit is metame? Mitzitz. You're beautiful. Orig v'tachshit koshu tome. Oh, how do you know that? How do you know that half orig, half tachshit is metame? That we haven't seen in the Torah. The tzitz is 100% tachshit, and the beged is 100% beged. How do you know that half is mitame kolshu? Because it says also in shrotzim, mikol klimaise. No, excuse me, by mace. Excuse me, mikol klimaise. It says regarding tumas mace, kol. The word kol is inclusive, means any kli, which is useful, even the smallest one, and even the one made out of half. One of the Rabbanah told Rove, how can you learn that to any tuma? That was mentioned in Tumas Midian, and that was regarding Tumas Mace. You can't extrapolate from Tumas Mace to regular Tumas Sheretz. Why? Because Tumas Mace is much more severe. Give me a few facts. A Toma is Aviyavos Tuma, right? Sheretz is just enough. A Mace, you need 7 days. Sprinkling of Paraduma, 3rd day, 7th day, a whole balagan. Tumas Sheretz means one thing. Go to the mikveh here in Revivim, boom, dunk in, dunk out, and tonight you're good to go. Much easier Tumas Sheretz. So how can you reflect from Tumas Mace to Tumas Sheretz? Maybe Betumas Mace, which is very severe, we say that even half kosher that business Mekabel Tuma. Maybe Betumas Sheretz, which is what we're talking about, it's not Mekabel Tuma. Omerlei the magic Zerashova. Omerlei Gomar. Oh, we have a lot of information here. Omerlei Gomar Kli Mehosom. Because it says the word kli in shrotzim and it says the word kli in tumas mace in Midian, therefore we have the link one from the other, just like tumas mace, if they have kolshu tachshit and beged or metame, so to b'shrotzim it's mekabel tum. Tomorrow's Amud is not easy. I'm telling you in advance. You'll have to tell your wife you're not helping at home. You're schwitzing through the Amud. That's it. You have vacation tomorrow. You have to learn the Amud. It's not the easiest Amud. I'm sure for you guys it will be easy. For me, it's not so easy. Atzlacha bracha. Thank you for those who watch us on YouTube, and thank you for Baruch Hashem. There's a Wi-Fi in the shul. Agit and Shabbos. Atzlacha bracha. Shkoyach.